The LBJ Jaguars took care of business here at House Park Field as the post-senior night celebrations continue. Behind me, they took down the Eastside Panthers 67-0 to cap off an undefeated season at 10-0. The number 2 ranked team in the state of Texas for 4A high school football was clicking on all cylinders here tonight, allowing only 1 first down late in the second half. This team was dominant on the offensive side of the football as well.
The igniters of this domination were 2 playmakers, wide receiver Trayon Henderson and running back Caleb Crenshaw, who set the tone early. It did not take long for LBJ to strike. On just their second offensive play, Crenshaw showed why he's one of the best in the city, breaking loose for a 20-yard touchdown. After an Eastside 3-and-out, Allie Scott hit Jamari Wilson for a first down. After, Wilson lost the ball, but lucky for LBJ, wide receiver Yaheem Riley was there to scoop it up and score, extending the Jags' lead. The Jaguars dominated in all aspects of the game, with the crowd and cheerleaders fired up as their team ran away with it. Meanwhile, Eastside quarterback Jalen Cathy and his coach worked to find solutions. Cathy and running back Nathan Rios faced relentless pressure from LBJ's defense, as here, big number 99 Jeffrey Love from the defensive tackle spot shut down Cathy short of the first down marker. Adding to their struggles, Eastside was plagued by penalties, including this call that pushed them further from the mark to gain. LBJ's backups kept the momentum going as reserve quarterback Trey Riley connected with Yaheem Riley, who made not 1, not 2, but multiple defenders miss on his way to a highlight-worthy touchdown that'll be on his huddle page very soon. With the game in hand, Caleb Crenshaw took on a leadership role on the sidelines with the headset on, helping his teammates to the finish line.
After a dominant win like tonight, this Jaguar squad is looking ahead to the postseason. Last year, they fell short in round 2 of the playoffs. This time around, they're looking to push for a state title. Reporting here in Austin, Jackson Vaerewyck. The theme for this Reedy-Line football team in this game was resilience. Starting running back Tristan Airy goes down early with a lower leg injury, comes back in the second half, and dominates. Over 500 yards of total offense for the Reedy-Line football team. Over 100 yards rushing for Airy alone in the second half. Tristan Airy did fantastic things tonight for the Reedy Lions. Really speaks volumes to how this Reedy-Line football team is so resilient. Back up to you guys in the booth. Obviously, in your second season here at Emerson, you just won a regional final game. How does that make you feel, Coach?
Hey, we're headed to the state semifinals, okay? Hey, I'm so proud of these kids and so proud of our coaches. Our coaching staff does such a great job. We take the kids that come into us and prepare each week. Our kids have persevered through so much, and they keep battling back. I'm proud for our school and for our kids.
And you mentioned these kids persevered so much. A lot of banged up kids here tonight. Maliko's down early. Izzy faces some injuries. How did your kids show the resilience here tonight?
We've said all year the next man has to pick the sword up. You know, we can't make an excuse. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. So the kids have taken that on. We have a phrase we say that we want to play dangerously unselfish. And so I thought they were dangerously unselfish tonight.
One last question, Coach. You talked about it all year. How do you want these kids to leave an impact at Emerson?
Oh, I think they already have. I mean, no matter what happens here on out, I mean, these guys, this is the very first senior class, the very first time we've had 4 classes in a building, and we're in the state semifinals. No school's ever done that before in this district, so they've done that already. Everything we do now is icing on the cake, but happy for them. But hats off to Colleyville. I mean, really well coached. That quarterback's a dude.
He's a dude indeed. Coach, go celebrate your boys. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Ian, in the booth.
Smirndagamo, first down, doubles formation. Takes it, hands it off to his back. Traho trucks his way forward for about a gain. It looks like he might have lost the football there at the end. They might rule him down. It looks like the Warriors have recovered a fumble as Traho fumbled it towards the far sideline. We didn't even have an angle on that one. We'll wait for the replay there as Traho was going for some extra yards at the end of the play, but it was a costly mistake.
Hunter Metcalf makes very, very good out of the mistake by Graho, who dropped the ball. Metcalf picked it up, tried to return it, then take it to the ground by a lineman. Now the Warriors will get the ball already in the red zone. Ball on the 20-yard line.
Huge as Wilson hands it off to Martin. Up the middle. For a gain of about 5. Sets up second and medium for the Warriors. That puts them officially in the red zone. And you see Chase Coleman out there on an island all alone. You see a second DB at that safety spot kind of creeping down, but we know 2 isn't enough for him as Martin gets a carry once again. Offensive line plunging him forward, but he's going to be stopped for about a gain of 3. Sets up third and 4.
We've seen this offense go for it a lot on 4th down. I don't think that's something we'll see on this drive because a field goal puts them up, obviously. 3rd and 4, though, it's critical that they have to convert and march into that end zone.
It's Wilson in doubles with Martin in the backfield. Wilson takes the snap, looking for Coleman on the quick hitch route. Coleman gets the first, looking to dance and get some more. His forward progress is going to mark him for the first down. As Coleman, though, was dancing with the ball at the end, almost punched out. It picks up the crucial first down.
Warrior first down. Coleman thought he lost the first down, decided to stretch out. He would have had it regardless. And it's going to be a 1st and goal for the Warrior offense.
Watch out for Coleman on a fade ball, top of your screen. Wilson lets one fly to Coleman. Held as he was going for the ball, but the refs are not going to call it as it might have been within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, so it won't be classified as DPI. As Coleman doesn't agree as he walks back to the line of scrimmage. But yeah, I mean, scary matchup for any DP to be matched up with Coleman one-on-one in a scoring situation. Ethan Stutzman was on the coverage there. Wilson takes a snap, hands it off to Martin, falling forward, picking up a small chunk of yardage, gets them inside the 10. 3rd and goal now for the Warriors. And it's going to be interesting to see how Jeff Jackson manages this clock. If he tries to chew a lot of clock, if he tries to go hurry up in hopes that he may get the ball again, because there is a chance that the Independence Knights do get the last possession of the game if they chew the clock just right. 17 apiece. Wilson in the gun. 18 for 25 this evening, 140 yards, passing touchdown and a pick. Wilson looking for Coleman to his right. Wilson rolling out to his left, getting mobile. Wilson tosses one up in the air for Coleman. Can he make the grab? It looks like a Warrior did, but they couldn't quite get their feet in bounds. An incredible effort by a Memorial Warrior as Christian Crumbly nearly made what would be a grab of the year potential, but was unable to get both. Or 1 foot in bounds, and that's going to send out the field goal unit.
They're going to send out the field goal unit, but take a look at what we like to call the scramble drill. Wilson starts to scramble.
Texas football is up to #1 in the AP poll after a dominant 56-7 victory over the UTSA Roadrunners right here at DKR, while Texas women's soccer has outscored their opponents 11-1 so far in the month of September and remain undefeated. Meanwhile, Texas volleyball handed out some replicas of their championship rings on Wednesday as they took care of business against Houston, sweeping them 3-0. All this and more on College Press Box.
Good evening and welcome to the second episode of College Press Box of the fall 2024 semester. I'm Zach Davis, he's Jackson Vaerewyck. It's been a hectic weekend, but before we get started, I wanted to share with you that today's show is brought to you by Cat Metro, Austin's transit system. We connect you to work, school, play, and everywhere in between. Plan your ride to this weekend's game at catmetro.org.
Well, this past Saturday, Texas football welcomed the UTSA Roadrunners, the second meeting between the two teams in the past 3 seasons. But the injury bug stung once again for the 3rd consecutive year, with quarterback Quinn Ewers now sidelined week to week for what is known as a strained abdomen. Let's see how Texas would take care of business this Saturday. Started things off late in the first quarter. Ewers on 4th and 3 connects with Isaiah Bond across the middle to keep the offensive drive going. It's a risky call from Sark as the team was on its own side of the field, but continuing things on, Ewers delivers a dot over to Jonte Cook, who runs it into the end zone, giving the Horns an early 14-0 lead to conclude the first quarter as they shimmy their way to that lead. Ewers delivering in the pocket, a teardrop to Gunnar Helm, who does his best Ezekiel Elliott impression, hurdling a defender, getting inside the Texas red zone to set them up for another scoring play. As you see here, Ewers limping in pain is handing off there. You see on the bottom of your screen, wincing in pain, calling for a timeout as Ewers collapses in pain at the bottom of the screen, and he heads to the orange medical tent as he would not return in this game. Arch Manning would fill in those shoes as immediately after the injury, Arch Manning comes in, a play fake rolling out to his right and delivers a strike to DeAndre Moore Jr., who puts some more points on the board for the Texas Longhorns to give them a 21-0 lead as Arch loves it. As Arch The play you've seen all over on Twitter, keeps it on the read option from Weisner and goes all the way down the field, a 67-yard run, puts the pedal to the metal, all gas, no brakes, literally, as he skips into the end zone. The most mobile Manning we've ever seen. As there's another look here, whoop, on the move there, Arch Manning dances to the end zone, putting the Texas Longhorns in front with a massive lead, and hits the celly at the end as well, really showing off why he's the swaggiest Manning as well. As an RPO here, screen from Manning over to Isaiah Bond. Mr. 007 takes it all the way to the house on the bubble screen for over 50 yards. Isaiah Bond gives the Horns a 35-7 lead as he flexes to the crowd. Now Barberger, the backup for UTSA, throws a string off his own lineman, and it's picked off by defensive end Ethan Burke, who takes it all the way to the house to give the Horns the 56-7 lead, and that would be the final score as that caps off the Horns win 56-7. They'll host LA Monroe this week at DKR.
2-2 now for Hernandez. Hyken fires. Hernandez swung on. That's deep down left field. Tracking it but can't make the play as Hernandez is able to find some green grass. Hernandez goes for second, and it's a stand-up double for Hernandez as that ball travels just over the head of Vaerewyck out in left field and makes contact with the back wall, and the speedy Hernandez able to convert on the double. No outs for the Cats and a runner in scoring position as Easton Ford, who's had 2 homers in his last 3 games, comes up to the plate. It wouldn't be a homer streak if he were to go home here, but almost a day, or every day that there's been a home game streak. Technicality in there.
You can call that a home run streak.
As Ford now awaits the pitch from Hyken. Ford, that one sails in the dirt, and Hernandez takes advantage and heads over to third immediately as the pitch was mishandled by Woodland. Counts goes 1-0.
I think Hernandez just likes to run.
He really does, man. I mean, has he ever thought about track and field maybe? I mean, just maybe.
I wonder. There's not enough jogging and taunting in track and field, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. You can't go back and forth as much. Hyken deals it. Ford swung on deep down center field. That one's going up, 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 and away. Bye-bye baseball as Easton Ford with the fiery gloves is the flamethrower of the Shadow Cat offense. And another 2-run homer for the Shadow Cats ignites the lead 4-0 over the Outlaws as he gives fist bumps all around the batting coaches. And Ford touches helmets with Hernandez, and they exchange fist bumps, and Ford happily trots back to the dugout.
Somebody stop this man. He's hit home runs.
It's ridiculous. I mean,
he just hits home runs for a living.
He had homer 2 games ago, homer last night, and then didn't have a homer in the first game of the doubleheader, but they've all been 2-run homers. It's ridiculous. As now Hyken deals, facing her Cottonwood King. That one's just a bit high. Count goes 1-0. That was awesome.
It was.
No way. Ford's got to be on a hot streak. Hopefully we got to give Easton Ford some love post game. 1-1 count now for Asinger. A swung on, and that one foul tips over to the beer garden. Count goes 2-1.
When you homer in 3 of 4 games,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. Of course.
I think he even
didn't homer last game.
Didn't homer last game, but I think he had a hit, right?
He did.
He hit a single and walked. It was 1 for 3?
1 for 2.
1 for 2. Still not too shabby, though. I mean, you hit the ball 1 of the 3 times, it's enough to make the majors. So, Zay Singer line drives right over to Garcia. He's going to head back now. 1 out on the board. Cats, but now the Cats, have a 4-0 lead. As Corson Hastings awaits the pitch from Hyken. Hastings, that one's low and away. Count goes 1-0.
I think it's the batting gloves for Easton Ford. Ever since he's got these fiery orange, he's been hitting the ball so well.
Yeah, it's been a say the least for Easton Ford. As that one can't find the zone again. Count goes 2-0 for Hyken. Swung on by Hastings. That one goes down center field. It bloops over, and he finds some green grass, and Hastings heads over to first on the single.